All right, everybody, we're ready to get started. Hope you all are doing well today. I'm Miss Becky. I'm from the Museum of Discovery and Science, and this is Sprouting STEM Storytime. Today, we're going to be talking about water and how things sink and float. So that should be very exciting. We also would like to thank our sponsors of PNC Bank and the 80 Henderson Foundation for helping sponsor this story time. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is sing a good morning song. So it has some sign language. So the first one is more. The next one is together. We have happy and friend. Okay, so you can sing with me. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friend is my friend and my friend is your friend. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Awesome. All right, I'm ready for an action song today, and this one has water in a teapot. So if you want to stand up with me, we're going to sing it 2 times. So the hand motions are going to be a handle and a spout, okay? I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout, tip me over and pour me out. All right, we'll sing it one more time and we'll try the other side. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout, tip me over and pour me out. If you're ready for a story, have a seat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Make your hands all nice and neat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. All right. Well, today we are going to be having a PowerPoint so you can see the book a little better. But this story is a book of poetry about water that says, water rolls and water rises. All right, let me see if my friend Mr. David is pulling up the PowerPoint of the book. Yep, there he goes. Water Rolls and Water Rises by Pat Mora. All right. We're getting started. There it is. Water Rolls, Water Rises by Pat Mora. Water rolls onto the shore, under the sun, under the moon. Look at the people on the beach. All right. Water rises into soft fog, weaves down the street, strokes an old cat. Do you see the cats in that picture? There's quite a few of them. All right. Blown by the wind, water sails high, tumbling cloud plumes curl through the air. Do you see the clouds in the sky? Look at the fisherman with the fish. Slow into rivers, water slithers and snakes through silent canyons at twilight and dawn. Wow, do you see this is the Yangtze River? All right. Down smooth canals, water streams, water slides, gliding up roots of tulips and corn. This is in Amsterdam. I see a windmill. Filling deep wells, water hums in the dark, sloshes and
Excuse me,
So if you see the ladies in the book, yeah. Swirling in wisps, water twists, then it twirls, frost scattered dry leaves, rubs lonely bare trees. Do you see the kids crossing the stream? In storms, water plunges, in thunder's brash roar, races through branches from lightning's white flash. Wow. Then water rests, drowsy in reservoirs. Its glistening silence shimmers like stars. I spot a camel, maybe more. In the murmur of marsh wind, water slumbers on moss, whispers soft songs for far under frog feet. Do you see the frog? There he is. Water burbles in springs, gurgles and turns, down streams and rivers, seeking the sea. I see a picnic. Oh, wow. Skidding and slipping, swooping round bends, spinning on tree roots, careening down cliffs. Wow, that's the Grand Canyon. Looping and leaping, rushing to dive into glimmering sea waves, spangle and splash. That's a nice cliff. All right. Around our round world, water rolls, water rises, under gold sun, under white moon. All right. So, what was your all's favorite part of the book? Can you all tell me what your favorite part of the book was?
The windmill.
The windmill.
The windmill? Oh, that's nice.
I really like the canyon too.
Splashing up and down in my little red rowboat, splashing up and down in my little red rowboat. Won't you be my darling? Looking out to sea in my little red rowboat, looking out to sea in my little red rowboat, looking out to sea in my little red rowboat. Won't you be my darling? Waving to a whale in my little red rowboat, waving to a whale in my little red rowboat, waving to a whale in my little red rowboat. Won't you be my darling? Don't stand up or you might tip over. Don't stand up or you might tip over. Don't stand up or you might tip over. Won't you be my darling? So today we are talking about things that sink or float. And at the museum, we have some animals that sink or float. So we're going to go live to the museum and look at some of these animals that sink or float in the water. So let's see if we can find the animal keeper. Ah, there we are. Good morning. All right. So what kind of animals do you have today?
So today we have our Caribbean spiny lobster right over there. He's sitting in his tank, kind of in the corner over there.
Oh, wow. He's big.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are all lobsters that big?
So not normally. This guy is actually really, really big. He's about 30 years old. But one really cool thing about lobsters is they'll keep growing all their life, so they'll keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger if they survive.
All right. And I noticed this lobster is sinking. Why does he sink?
So a lot of animals will sink. Some of them do have something called really cool that helps them float. Something like a swim bladder would kind of help them float or sink if they want. But lobsters don't have that, so they just sink on the bottom.
All right. Do you have any animals there at the museum that might float?
Yes, so we don't have anything. Well, we actually have some pufferfish in another tank, but here is a little pufferfish. Now these guys, he's inflated right now, so they will inflate themselves up to kind of like scare things that would want to eat them.
Oh, so they think like that. So why do some animals float and some animals sink? Do you think that there's a reason like that their food or something is different places?
Yeah, some of them might want to float, stay on the top, stay for all that food on the top. Some of them might be more special, like eat food on the bottom or something like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showing us all of these animals that sink or float today. Maybe we can come back and visit next week. All right. Oh, there goes the lobster. Look how big that lobster is. Wow. All right. Well, now I have a little video for you about boats. So we're going to look at some boat videos right now. Hi everybody, welcome to the New River. Sure are a lot of boats here. And I am standing on a dock. And this is a special kind of dock. It is filled with air and other things to make it light. And so that you can pull your boat right up next to it and float with it. Let's look at some of the boats on the water. Do you see the yacht? That's a big boat. Fort Lauderdale is the yachting capital of the world. These yachts are big and they can float right on top. There it goes. Let's see what other kind of boats we can see. Those yellow boats are water taxis. They take people from one place to the next. This boat is a catamaran. It has two small boats on the bottom and a platform on top. Wow, double floating. Here come some jet skis, little boats for one. Let's see if there's another boat for one. Ah, a paddle board. Ooh, coconut also floats in the water. That's not the only part of a palm tree that floats. Look at the palm frond in the water. So many things float. Ready to look for more boats? Here comes this big boat and a little bitty towboat. Helps pull other boats through the water. All of them float. And sometimes you need a tiny boat to get from your big boat all the way to the dock. That one's called a dinghy. Wow, and this one's a sailboat where it has all kinds of wind power. I'd like to learn more about a sailboat. Oh, hi. I'm here today at the Mods Discovery Center with our sailboat. This sail right here catches the wind and helps make this boat go. And why do boats float? Well, if you look here at the bottom, it's got a nice wide base to rest on the top. And then here, myself inside can float on top of that wide base. Thanks for learning about boats and how they float on water with me. See you inside. Hi, everybody. Can any of you tell me a boat that maybe you've been on?
Cruise ship.
Cruise ship, that's a good one.
Light, lifeboat.
Like a canoe, kayak, maybe an airboat. You went along with
A lifeboat.
Okay, so in my hand, I have an experiment. I'm going to shake it up. You ready? Okay. Let's see which color floats and which color sinks. Oh, wow. So if I move my hand a little, you can see that the white one floats and the blue one sinks. So things that float are usually light, or they are full of air, and they will put on top of the water so they can spread out. And then things that sink are usually heavier and they are not full of air. They may have tight, packed in really tight. So, and as you see, some of these are both of them are going to end up floating as they come back together. So They are what we call a density bottle. That just means how tightly packed something is. So that's pretty interesting here. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is tell you a story on our felt board. Okay. So here we go. On an old farm by the bay that Mr. Pfeiffer owned lived 4 animals: a cow, a donkey, a pig, a sheep, and a tiny little mouse. One day, the 4 friends decided to go out and take a row on the bay. Do you know who sank the boat? Was it the cow who caused such a din when she tried to get in? No, it wasn't the cow who caused such a din. Do you know who sank the boat? Was it the donkey who balanced the weight, who yelled, "I'll get in the bow before it's too late"? Okay, he's getting in the boat. No, it wasn't the donkey who balanced the weight. Do you know who sank the boat? Was it the pig who was as fat as butter, who got in the side and caused such a flutter? No, it wasn't the pig who was as fat as butter. Do you know who sank the boat? Was it the sheep who knew where to sit so that she could work and knit? Okay, let's get them all in the boat. Okay. No, it wasn't the sheep who knew where to sit. Do you know who sank the boat? Was it the tiny little mouse? The smallest of all? The last to get in? Could it be him? Splash! Splash! Oh no. There goes the cow onto the shore, and the donkey, and the sheep, and the pig, and the tiny little mouse. You do know who sank the boat. All right, so we are now going to do a little science experiment here at my house, and I want your help. Scientists like to make a guess of what's going to happen before they do something. So I have an orange here, okay? I want you to tell me whether it's going to sink or float, okay? What do you think? What's your guess?
Float.
Okay. I hear a lot of floats, okay? So here's my big bucket of water here. I'm gonna drop it in. All right, and it floated. It is on the top of the water. All right, now I have another orange. This one here doesn't have the peel on it. Do you think it's going to sink or float?
Sink. Sink. Sink.
It'll sink. All right, are we ready to try it?
Yeah.
Oh boy, it floated too. Sometimes we guess right and sometimes we guess wrong. All right, and I have one more thing we can try. I have a seashell. Actually, 2 more things. Okay, so do we think the seashell is going to sink or float?
Sink.
Sink. Sink.
It sunk. So the orange has pieces on it that have air pockets, and that's why they tend to float. And the shell doesn't have an air pocket, so it sinks. Do you think when you take a bath next time that you can ask your grown-up to try some sink and float in your bathtub? I think that might be fun. You could gather some items. So my next challenge is for you to make a boat, just like we saw on the water. So you can take a piece of aluminum foil, okay, and you can take and fold it into a boat like I did, okay? And the first thing you want to do is see if your boat floats, okay? Floats. And then you can add items into your boat to see if it still floats. So I'm adding some seashells. You could add coins. My boat is now, oh, there it goes. It's sinking. It caught water. You could see how many things you could float in your boat. So if you want to show me what you've done, you can go to #ModsChallenge and show me your boat or your bathtub full of things that are sinking and floating. I'd love to see them. All right, so now it's time to say goodbye. Join me next week as we talk about animal homes. Okay, so next week, 10 o'clock, animal homes. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends. We wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.